Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video is composed of things that I tinkered with throughout the day. For step-by-step detailed instructions of those tasks, you can click on the links in the comment section below. This video should contain tips and tricks of things that I've learned throughout the year. Now, I only plan on leaving this video posted for about 30 days. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. Here I am, party people, rolling up to Swedish Car Parts. Right down this little aisle and to the left, Swedish Car Parts. They still got that red 850 I see. Let's see what kind of trouble I can get into today. Swedish Car Parts. First thing I see is a fan resistor for the 850s with the manual climate control. These things go bad. Your fan will only work in the fastest speed default. They develop cracks along this green stuff here, and then the wires that wrap around here gets cracks in them and they break. So evidently they have brand new ones here at Swedish Car Parts. And I heard that they have a sending unit for the 240s that is actually unique. So I'm going to ask them to explain why it's unique and why that's something you want for your 240. This is the sending unit.
We changed the design of the plate where we made a different stamping for the carrier and the cover plate with openings so that the cover plate could go through these holes. Excess material is twisted. This is only to prevent the sending unit from coming apart when you're installing it into the tank.
So right now, when people are putting those in the tank,
they will not come apart.
The old ones or even new ones are having problems.
Original design wasn't the best.
Okay.
Original design was where these tabs were bent over the backing
outside,
right on the outside. So any sudden movement to it would, you will be looking for a parts inside your gas tank.
Okay, so basically, originally it was built broke.
Correct.
Okay.
So this is lovely new design, and
all right,
we have good feedback from it too. From
so on your 240s, if there's 100 240s. How many of them you think have a bad sending unit not getting reading to the gas tank, to the gauge? Yeah.
60% of those.
So 6 out of 10 need a new sending unit.
Right, they don't know. Just drive by the odometer reading, see how much gas they have left.
That's what I'm doing with my 740 right now. I pump gas, I drive 200 miles, I go pump gas again.
Well, this is for 240s. The 740 is coming up.
Okay. All right, so they can find these on your website, anywhere else?
The website, on eBay. We got them. Yeah, we try to stay competitive with pricing so people could afford to fix their vehicle.
Okay.
And the price reflects the craftsmanship that put in here.
All right. So, good deal.
All right.
Thanks for sharing that. Here's my friend Sebastian's 98 S70 that he's been doing mild modifications here and there. It's a hobby. It's legal. As you can see, he has custom lights on it. He has a tune, and he is geeking it up a little bit more. What we're about to do today is to install NA cams. Then after that, we're going to install a 19T turbo, which is the Volvo standard for the largest turbo that you should put on this engine. They did it in the 99 models. So he also got his tune refreshed to reflect that, and got some new or rebuilt green injectors, and we're going to install those as well. Once we get that stuff done, we have some parts to replace on the rear suspension to refresh that, but this is probably about to cross the R platform here today. I suspect too far after this, he'll probably do an upgraded intercooler and then probably do reverse intercooler piping. So he's already got a newer exhaust on it that's serving him well. And this car is, man, it gets up and go, but he wants to make it a little bit more aggressive. So I'm going to set the timing, which really is not necessary when you're pulling the cam cover, but I'm gonna do it for my own sake. Pull this wheel off, pull the covers off, set the timing, remove the turbo piping, and pull this cam cover off. You could probably use this procedure if you need to replace lifters. As you can see, here has spark plugs, wires, rotor, stuff like that I'll need to put on there. We already put a NA throttle body and a NA intake manifold on this vehicle, so that stuff's already been done. And I am here at Swedish Car Parts facility, so throughout this video we may interrupt and let you know some of the things that they have to offer for vehicles, and you can obtain them from them if you like. Hey, you know, I let people know it's better to get new parts than used, but if you can't afford new, then you get used. So anyway, let me get started on this. As you can see, I have the timing set. I'm actually at half a tooth off, maybe a quarter of a tooth, but there's the mark there, going up to that notch there. There's the mark there, going over to that notch there. But I gotta reset these cams anyway, because I'm replacing them. But before you start messing with the timing, the cam, stuff like that, always set it, then verify your crank, and that way you avoid making a costly mistake. Alright, here's the rear cam seal. As you can see, a little bit of oil is getting by that. Not sure what brand seal that is. That's the way that cam sensor cup is positioned. Those things only go on one way, really. So let me pull those off, take this tube off the top, and start pulling this cam cover off. I don't have to remove the spark plugs. That cam seal there is dry, so that one's a little better than the one on the front. Time to pull that cover off the front and start pulling these 40 bolts out. I have the two covers off. The crank should be on time. The intake cam should still be on time. The exhaust cam is turned off. I seen that on the back of the cams. I got all the bolts broke loose. I got the fuel injectors out of the way. I'm going to replace all those injectors in that rail anyway. I got the PCV tube loose. It is not hard as a rock. I think that was replaced about 2 years ago. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove all these screws. I got the brace out of the upper mount. I got that set aside, all the screws set in. I got the two ground wires removed, hanging down. So I'm going to go pull all these bolts out, put them in the pattern I have here. You got 10, 12, 12, 10. 11, 12 if you count the two ground wires. So I don't have the two bolts for that bracket, and I don't have the two bolts for the cover here. I got those set aside. I'm going in and out same day, so that should be okay. Let me pull these screws out and then work this cover off so I can drop these cams in. I already got those bolts knocked loose on the front of that. I knocked those bolts loose before I pulled the tensioner off of the belt down there. So this belt really will just fall right off. And I'm going to line the cams whenever I go to put the new camshafts in. To speed this process up, I use my battery operated ratchet to turn these screws out. Let me tell you, this head is pretty soft. Do not try to install these screws with any kind of power tool. Also, it looks like this head may have been off the machine before, because that looks like marks that are made when someone puts a head on a milling machine. So my guess is this head might have been redone at one time. It's got the bolt in there. If it was likely redone by professionals. I don't see any of the lubrication or sealant coming out of them, but this cover has a lot of oil on top of it. Not sure where that's from. Anyway, let me pull these screws out, pop this cover off, get this thing out of the way, and set the new cams in place. Unfortunately, we got a little more evidence that this head's been off before. This cam cover bolt just broke. It was in this position here. So we're going to have to get that out of there and see what's going on with that. Also, the heat shield's off. Not sure why that's off. Anyway, let me get this cover broke loose and see what's going on with that bolt. I'm going to have to easy out that out. May have to find a time cert for it. When it's time to pull this cover up off of this head, you got to be real careful. One of two things have to happen. You have to leave the cams in the head, or you got to pull the cams up with the cover. I started working it up. I got it up about that far, and this intake cam is sticking in the cover for some reason, which I've never seen before, on this back side. So I'm going to need to lift the front side up with the cover and bring that cam out with the cover, leave the exhaust cam in the engine. Then I'll figure out why it's sticking, because I don't want to break these journals up on the front, these guides that hold the cams in their proper alignment. Those are the lifters in the head. As you can see, if oil comes through that cams back there, that last journal, it drops back down into the head, and then the seal sits where you see this last big drop at right there to stop the oil from continually coming out. So you got a lot of oil up there, oil in your lifters. These little flat discs are your lifters. In this car, they're hydraulic, and for some reason this cam is stuck in this head back here, but you don't want to bend these journals. See, somebody, when they put this cover back on, they clogged up a few passages in there. I'm going to scrape those clean, get this cover clean and out of here, so you can lift this cam out of here. But for some reason this seal is stuck in the back. Now it's loose. Not sure why that happened. So we're going to need the new O-rings to go in there so we can make sure those don't leak, and we're probably going to need a new cam seal. This is the one that was leaking a little bit. Somehow it got stuck in the cam cover. This cam cover, the top of it anyway, has more buildup than I've probably ever seen before. I don't know if this is carbon or what, but these passages are just about clogged up on every location. Not sure if somebody put too much sealant on there, or if it just got carboned up with maybe a couple of bad oil changes. So something we need to look into. We're going to have to clean this up spotless so that we can put this back together. For some reason there's a bad bolt there. We're going to have to get that out and figure out why. Hopefully we get a bolt back in there. When Sebastian said he's owned this car since new, his head's never been off, so what you see is from the factory. That bolt didn't want to come out. We PB blastered it, tapped on it with a brass mallet, still not coming out. So Alex, being the master car craftsman that he is, he's going to weld a nut on that bolt, and then we're going to back it out with a 10mm or 12mm, whatever size the nut is. But
12mm nut on it.
You want to pull your computers before you go arcing welds and stuff. Don't want to blow a computer up. The master at work. Somehow got that screw out of that head. Worked on it. Patiently drilled it.
There you go.
Got it worked out. And now we have a replacement screw in there. It threads in nice and tight. So we'll be saved to put this cam cover back on. I'm going to take a lunch break, clean this cover up, clean that head up, set the new cams in, and get this job done. My next step is to clean the top surface of this head off. I have the top of the cam cover, the cam cover, top of the head, in a parts washer soaking. So I'm getting ready to scrape this stuff off. So I got to check and see if I have everything. Well,
hey, what's happening there? You ready?
Well, almost. What do you got there?
Well, we're going to put the valve cover back on, aren't we?
Yeah,
That's
we're going to be installing this cam cover. Okay, you got the cam alignment tools?
Yep. This is it.
Wow. And you got the official hold down tools for the cover.
Right.
That is good. That's going to save me a lot of time.
Right. That'll be easier to do.
Yeah, it's going to be much easier when I'm ready to bolt this thing down. And when you got these, you screw those into a couple spark plug holes. You hold that cover down against the top of the head.
We made it like that. Original ones, the ears are square.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a bit of difference.
All right, I'm gonna feel the difference.
Right, this part is threaded all the way. So common issue when you're putting this in the original
into
design,
the spark plug hole.
You cross-thread it and
oh wow,
it's over.
Oh, that's bad.
It was a big thing.
Yeah.
So we made it. The landing is
okay. Good.
oh, so those lines in place.
All right.
It's backed out. There's a bearing in there.
Bearing in there and everything.
Right.
Man, that's going to be good.
Right. So.
Well, that's going to really help, man. I appreciate you bringing
anaerobic sealer here for the surface.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm getting ready to
clean it up.
I'm going to clean that surface up right now.
All right. We got new O-rings. Right?
Yep, got new O-rings. Get ready to set the new.
So I'm going to set it here on the side and stuff, and then the.
All right. Thanks for letting me use it.
Absolutely.
It definitely will make the job easier. About a half mile from my hotel, at a place called Romano's. It's an Italian place. I called my order in. They actually made my order fresh. I bought a half a pan. Man, this stuff smells good. If it's half as good as it smells, it's going to be real good. It's about 2 miles from the airport. So if you're staying around the O'Hara airport, come down on Grand, visit Romano's, get you a good Italian meal. You know, when you're traveling, it's a shame if you gotta eat KFC or, you know, some national chain. It's always good to eat something local, probably more healthy for you as well. That's what we got, the chicken parm. We ate about, I don't know, 25% of it. It is very good. So, I'm going to have that for leftovers tomorrow. And I'd probably rate it, because of the price, probably 4.5. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.